Hey everyone, I hope you had a great day. Today we are looking at some new malicious compliance stories. I hope you enjoy them. If you like the video, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps the channel to grow. Let's start with the first story, shall we? The first story is called Just Do It. I was a test and safety engineer for a power distribution company that built battery charger cabinets. This was the first cabinet with internal 125-volt battery strings. Our senior systems engineer wanted us to test without any of the software protection features enabled. He wanted to sell the cabinet systems without them to customers and claim that the cabinets passed compliance. I told him it was a bad idea, considering the high energy and voltage in these cabinets, coupled with the fact that we test at worst case electrical and temperature conditions. He said don't worry and just do it. Well, the cabinets were left at a boost charging state at 50 degrees Celsius for hours. Next thing you know, the offices on the other side of the lab are recognizing a smell of rotten eggs. The lab technician goes to the lab and finds that the batteries inside the cabinet are bulging from internal pressure building up. It was venting hydrogen sulfide, which spread across the entire building. The whole building had to be evacuated. The technicians laughed it up and thanked the systems engineer for the much needed break. Needless to say, the system failed the test, which was then repeated with the safety features enabled and passed without any issues. Management and HR had a field day with this incident, especially considering the lab could have blown up with enough hydrogen accumulation and a small spark. The next story is called Look at Me, Karen. Long ago, I was a department supervisor in the children's and teen area of a public library. The building manager was the only person above me on the organization chart. And when they were out of the building, that left me in charge of everything if there was an issue. I was also very hands-on and didn't hide in my office. I went out on the floor, shelved and worked the desks in our department pretty regularly. We also didn't have anything that identified our role in the library, because it's a library, so no one cares. One day I'm sitting at the desk in the children's department when a mother comes to complain about something. It's been long enough that I don't remember exactly what, other than she was asking me to do something that was against policy. It was a minor inconvenience for her and she was blowing it out of proportion. Eventually she gets that special Karen look in her eyes and says, "I want to speak to the supervisor about this." I couldn't believe it. I had dreamed about something like this happening and I took my shot. I stuck my hand out and said, "Hi, I'm the supervisor. And I'm afraid we can't do what you are asking." I can see the swirl of emotions, the dawning recognition, the annoyance, the smug look as she invokes a higher power. "Fine, then I want to talk to whoever is in charge here." I pause for a beat. I'm the only supervisor in the building. Look at me, Karen. I'm the manager now. So I turn to the side like I'm going to get someone, then turn back and thrust my hand out again with my best customer service smart. "Hi, I'm also the building manager right now. And I'm afraid we still can't do what you are asking." She stormed off and we didn't have a problem with her again. The third story is called It's Policy? Post offices in Canada are maddening places to visit. A kind of time warp bubble, where even the simplest of actions, like sending a letter, can take 3 to 4 more steps than necessary. The people working in them seem pleasant enough, but God help you if you want to drop in and quickly send a package. This takes place in one such small town post office where 2 employees work, the post office guy and post office lady. I have a small business and my customers will sometimes request priority 2-day express shipping to the USA. This is a very expensive service that has 2 large custom forms that take about 10 minutes to fill out. And you have to press hard with your pen so it goes through all 6 carbon copies. In the past, I've requested these forms to take home, where I can fill them out ahead of time. So when I get to the counter, my parcel is ready to go and can be processed quickly. Nice and efficient. However, after my last shipment, the post office guy refused to give me new forms to take home. When I asked him why, I was told it's our policy to not give out forms ahead of time. I replied that I have received them before and it saves everyone a lot of time. He replied, "Next time you are in, talk to the post office lady, it's her policy." I was then told to leave the line, go fill out my forms and come through the line again. The next time I shipped a 2-day express parcel, I ran through the line, and this time I was greeted by the post office lady. And she began to enter my package. She measures it all up, weighs it, and enters it all into her computer. Then she asked me how I want to send it, to which I replied, "Today priority please." She proceeded to sigh, turn around, retrieve my custom forms, hand them to me, and then tell me to go to the side counter and fill these out and come back. Afterward, I asked her if I could please get extra copies of the form. To which she replied that they can't give those forms out ahead of time. When I asked why, she just glared at me and said, "It's our policy." And this is where the malicious compliance starts. Every time I have a priority 2-day parcel, I intentionally and patiently wait for her to measure it, weigh it, and enter it into her system. When she asks me how I would like to ship the package, I put on my grin and declare, "Priority 2-day please." She rolls her eyes, gets me the forms, and sends me to my paperwork corner. And then she has to delete all the data she just entered into her computer before she can help the next customer. Today was especially delicious. I had 2 packages, one to be sent via regular mail, the second via 2-day priority. I, of course, put on the regular mail package first, let her enter it all into her system, she even printed the label, then let her go through entering the second package. I gleefully declared, "2-day priority please," and watched her have to undo all the work she just did and get me my forms. It's petty, it wastes everyone's time, but somehow it makes visiting the post office just a little bit more enjoyable. I also tried the online forms. They work for every other shipping method except priority 2-day. If I'm shipping via any other method, I always fill out my forms online ahead of time. I'm not a complete jerk, but they won't work with priority. So dumb. The next story is called The Banana Story. I was a weird goth kid in high school, especially at 14 years old. I wore all black, mostly things from Hot Topic or anime related stuff, again Hot Topic, and few kids liked me or found me attractive. I was just convenient, I suppose, to the boys in the story. In high school I decided to take automotive tech. That's literally a class in which you learn how to work on cars. Normally a path to a career in the field. A quarter of the classes were presentations from automotive tech schools. I took it to learn how to care for my own car and to learn how to not get screwed by a crappy mechanic being a woman and all. As one would imagine, my class was mostly boys. I was one of 2 girls in a class of 17 or so. I was 14 years old. The age range of the class was 14, me, the youngest, to 17, high school seniors. I loved bananas. Like, a lot. I had one for lunch every day and often ate in my auto tech class, seeing as that was my lunch period. And I didn't want to walk across campus to the cafeteria, so I brought my own lunch. Most of the class did the same if they had food. The teacher let us stay. I think he liked the company and conversations. He was a super cool dude. Just a mechanic who worked weekends as an actual mechanic and weeks as a high school auto tech teacher. Every lunch, the remaining boys would watch me intently every day, eating my daily banana. I was getting annoyed by this. My male teacher would tell the guys to mind their own business almost every day, but they never listened. And he did not have the same power as most teachers, since he only taught an elective class. He couldn't assign detentions. He had to go through administration and they had to actually see the situation to side with him, which never happened. About 2 months into this, I got so tired of it. I brought the biggest banana I could grab in the bunch. I waited until just before lunch to pull it out, so every boy would see it and want to stay and stare. Once lunch started, I so slowly peeled that large banana. Delicately, excruciatingly slowly. As erotic as a 14-year-old can get while peeling a banana. My teacher almost said something, but I smiled at him and he just shrugged. I then proceeded to shove as much of that banana down my throat as possible. The boys all gasped. The teacher cleared his throat and looked away. Less than a second later, I violently bit the hell out of that banana and chewed what was in my mouth as viciously as possible. I was gagging on this huge bite, but needed my point across, so I dealt with it. There were audible gasps of sympathetic pain. My teacher, upon realizing what I had done, was hiding laughter. I ate the remainder of the banana as aggressively as possible, with the loudest, most ugly chewing possible. Those boys never watched me eat a banana again, I tell you that. The last story is called You Want Me to Do My Job? So this happened about 10 years ago when I was working at a grocery store. It was my night to monitor the automatic registers, of which there were 4. Even better, it was the weekend before Christmas, so the store was packed to capacity. When I worked at the store, the automatic registers all had a conveyor belt which leads to a bagging area. When it was this busy, it was expected that the person monitoring the automatic registers would also bag people's groceries to help keep lines moving. About 5 hours into my 8-hour shift of non-stop bagging groceries and fixing issues, I took a second to come into our customer service desk. It was about 15 feet from the automatic registers. I said, "Wow, I cannot believe how busy this is." Well, this one woman didn't like that I took 10 seconds to stop bagging groceries. So she decided to yell out, "Do you think you could actually do some work and bag my groceries?" In line with the Christmas spirit, another customer at the automatic register next to Karen heard this comment. She instantly looks up and yells, "Hey, don't yell at him, he's been doing a good job." Well, at that moment, and by some Christmas miracle, she and I had the same idea. She then looks at me and goes, "You really should get back to work though," with a smile on her face. I replied, "Absolutely, ma'am, I'll get back to bagging now." The complaining woman was snugly standing there, watching me, expecting me to come back to her groceries. Instead, I walked right on by her machine and walked over to the other customer's automatic register and started bagging her groceries. The look on the complaining woman's face was the best Christmas gift I could ask for. Also, unrelated, but the woman who stood up for me had me help her to her car and tipped me $10. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel for more content. Let me know what you think about the stories in the comment section below. Have a great day. Bye bye.